Hello guys, so today's video is going to be my Colourpop collection. So I have a huge basket of my entire collection of Colourpop cosmetics, and I was putting this video together and I realized, wow, I don't have a lot of stuff from Colourpop. And then I realized, no, that's silly. I do have a lot of stuff from Colourpop, but I just don't have as many things as some other people do here on YouTube. Colourpop is one of my favorite brands, and a lot of the stuff in my makeup collection is from them. I think I use Colourpop at least every single day, so I genuinely love their products, and I have a pretty big collection from them. But there are other YouTubers on here that have a huge, extensive Colourpop collection. I'm talking like every single Super Shock shadow, every single lipstick. I don't have that. I have a pretty decent sized amount, so I think I might like title this reasonable sized Colourpop collection. I will go pretty in depth and just let you guys know my opinions on all my Colourpop products, let you know what my favorites are, what didn't work for me, and I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Pink Haired Barbie returns. My hair is pink. I already filmed a video this morning. I think it's going to go up directly before this one, where I'm wearing this exact same makeup look. So you guys have already seen this face. I did want to just change up my appearance a little bit so it wouldn't look like the same person in the same video. So I did change my hair. My hair is now pink. I think I've been talking too much, so let's get right into my Colourpop collection. I'm going to start off with my eyeshadow palettes. These are my favorite items from Colourpop, probably hands down. I do love all my stuff from Colourpop, obviously, but these are my personal favorites. So the first palette that I got was the Yes Please palette, and I actually did depot it and end up putting it into a magnetic palette just because the packaging got really dirty and messy and annoying. These are all the colors from the palette. This is obviously a very warm tone palette. You have some nice yellow tones, and it's very warm, so this is a good summer palette for me. I do think the quality of Colourpop's palettes are very consistent with their regular panned eyeshadows. The mattes are very pigmented and kind of powdery, but they're very blendable as well, and they're very cost effective. You're getting a lot of product for what you're spending. So each palette I believe is $16 with the exception of some special ones that are either 18 or 20. This Yes Please palette is one of my favorites. I love the color scheme, and I will flash a couple pictures of me wearing this palette, or like some looks I've done with this palette. So for every product that I've done a look with on my Instagram, I will try and flash a picture just so you can see. The next palette that I got from them was the Femme Rosa palette, which is in collaboration with Karrueche. This is the She palette, so I really love this palette. I really like the packaging. I think it's a lot better than the Yes Please palette, which was always getting dirty and it was just kind of lackluster packaging, but they really did step it up with this one. For all the palettes, I believe the shade names are printed on the back. Here are the colors. Obviously, it's also pretty much a warm toned palette, but this one is more geared towards pinks and purples. I really do like all the colors in here. I think they're very beautiful and blendable. There's not a ton of mattes though. You do kind of have to pull in a lot of other shadows from different palettes if you do prefer an all matte look or a mostly matte look. So personally, I do have to supplement this with other palettes, but that doesn't really bother me because I do love the color scheme of this. I really like the satiny shimmers on the top, and then the beautiful like foiled glittery shadows are beautiful with a flat shader brush that is wet. So I really do enjoy this palette. I think the color scheme is gorgeous. I don't reach for this one enough, unfortunately. Whenever I do reach for this palette, like I did this morning for a couple crease shades, I do enjoy working with this one. The quality of these shadows is amazing, so I really do enjoy this palette. I think it's beautiful, and I know it was limited edition, so it's not available anymore, but it was one of my favorites. I also have the My Little Pony palette. I'm not sure if this one's still available. I think it's probably gone by now because this was a limited edition collaboration. This is one of my favorite colorful palettes. I think I did mention this in my favorite colorful palettes video, which I will have linked in the cards. I love the beautiful array of like kind of muted but still rainbow shades in here. So I really like the mattes in here. You have beautiful like berry tone mattes. You have like a kind of creamsicle orangish, almost pink, kind of like a peachy orange creamsicle shade. 3 blue shimmers down here. I did do a look with those, so I will flash that on the screen. I just really enjoy this palette. I think the colors in here are gorgeous. They perform very well. It's mostly shimmers. There's only a few mattes in here, but I do find myself really enjoying this palette, and I always reach for this one when I want some fun shades. I'm not even a huge fan of My Little Pony, but I did still pick up this palette just because it looks cute. I do like the packaging. It's really fun and whimsical, and I think it really embodies Colourpop's entire like brand aesthetic. The next palette that I have is the Colourpop All I See Is Magic palette. This was their Holiday 2017 volume palette. This one actually has 15 shades instead of the typical 12, and this was $20 instead of the typical 16, so a little bit more expensive, and I actually don't reach for this one a ton. But when I do reach for it, my favorite shade in here is the burgundy here called Tinseltown. Absolutely gorgeous on the eyes. So I will flash a picture of a look I've done, and I really do like the quality of this palette. I don't reach for this one enough just because the color scheme is kind of incohesive to me. When I use this one, I really am only reaching for like one of the shades in here. I never really sit down and think, what kind of cohesive look can I make with the entire palette? When I break it down shadow by shadow, I do like the colors in here. I never reach for this one, and I really should reach for it more often. honestly, it's kind of one that I forget that I have in my collection sometimes. So I don't know if this was the best purchase for me just because the color scheme is kind of jumbled, but I do enjoy it. The colors are good. I just need to find more ways to reach for it. My favorite Colourpop palette is the Dream Street palette with KathleenLights. I believe this one is still available, of course, but this one is my favorite Colourpop palette, hands down. I think the quality of this is amazing, and I mention this very often in my videos. This one is kind of a warm tone neutral palette with a twist. You do have some beautiful neutral shades and some gorgeous shimmers, duochromes, but then you have this beautiful like matte dark tealish blue and a beautiful shimmer to go with it, and I think this can create some really gorgeous unique looks. So I've really enjoyed playing with this palette. I reach for this very often. It's one of my favorites for some nice neutral shades, but I do love that Kathleen threw in some beautiful brights in here. So you have this gorgeous like kind of creamsicle transition shade, you have a bright reddish orange. The quality in this one is a step up from the other Colourpop palettes. It's a little bit better quality, and I really love this one. So Kathleen did an amazing job with this collection. I really love the Dream Street collection, and this one is a gorgeous palette. I almost forgot this one, but I do have the Colourpop Take Me Home shadow palette. This one is just a little mini 6-pan shadow palette, and this one is actually available at Sephora, so you can pick this one up at Sephora. I believe Colourpop is now in Sephora and Ulta, so they only have a limited amount of product in each retailer, but this one is one of the few things that's available outside of Colourpop.com. I wouldn't have picked this up on my own just because it's very neutral colors, and I already have these in my collection in many other palettes, but I did get this one for Christmas, and I have been enjoying this one a lot, so I am happy that I have it in my collection. This one does have a mirror. It's $12 for 6 shades, so it's a pretty good deal. You're getting a great amount of product in here, and the colors are very nice and natural. So when I want to create a really nice, easy, effortless look, I'll reach for this one just because it has pretty much all the warm tone neutrals I would need to create a really nice, fun look. And I believe these are all singles that are available in Colourpop's regular collection, so I really do enjoy this palette. I'm very happy that I have it in my collection. I wouldn't have bought it myself, but it's one of those cute little mini palettes that I can take with me traveling. It's very convenient, and I really do like it. I have 4 of these Supernova Shadows. These are the liquid glittery eyeshadows that are a great dupe for the Stila Magnificent Metals Glitter and Glow shadows. So if you don't want to spend $24 on a single glitter shadow, which is crazy, you can spend $7 instead and get a very similar result. So I only have 4 shades as of now. I am planning on picking up the new shades that they came out with lately. I haven't gotten around to making a big Colourpop order yet. It's just been a while. I've kind of been restraining myself in terms of online purchases, and I don't know. I feel like Colourpop just releases so much so often that if I make an order in like 2 weeks, they'll come out with something that I really want, and I'll be like, oh, why didn't I wait? Probably just gonna wait for like maybe like 1 more month, and then I'll place my big order. I'll get some new Supernova shadows, a couple lipsticks, and maybe an eyeshadow color or 2 if it catches my eye, but yeah, I'm planning on ordering the new shades. These are the only ones I have right now. I have these shades Firecracker, Hard to Empress, Moonlit, which is my favorite, and then Walk of Fame. This one's a copper. Moonlit is my favorite. It's like a pink purple duochrome shade, and then Hard to Empress is kind of like a coppery red, and then the shade Firecracker is very unique. It's kind of like a dark pinkish red. I don't know how to describe it, but these are really beautiful. They're very glittery on the eyes. They do flake throughout the day, so I would actually recommend taking this with you and just doing light touch-ups, which personally I don't mind. It's not that hard to do touch-up, and they're very effortless to apply, so I don't mind having to do that, especially because they're very inexpensive, but they do kind of flake, especially if you apply a very thick layer. So overall, I do think they're worth the $7 price tag. I do enjoy these ones, and they're one of my favorites in my collection. So I have a couple of these Super Shock shadows, and honestly, I never reach for these. I think I'm just not going to buy any more Super Shock shadows from now on, just because I don't reach for shadows like this. I never ever reach for it. I prefer to go for a palette, even if it's just a palette of like single shadows, like a Z palette. I just never reach for individual things like this unless it's like a glitter. So I'm probably actually going to be decluttering most of these ones. I might keep a few of the key shades because I do reach for some of these if they're like nice transition shades, but besides that I just don't reach for them a lot. So I'm just going to go through them real quick what I have. This shade is Wattles. It's a nice mauve pink. This one's kind of like a satin finish, and I do like to use this as a transition shade every now and then, so I think I will keep this one. This is Paradox. It's a beautiful like kind of burgundy bright vibrant raspberry shade. It's really gorgeous. It's a nice matte shade. I just don't reach for this one very often. I have like pan shadows like this one that I prefer to reach for more often in palettes, so I barely ever reach for Paradox. I also have Beverly. This was from Karrueche's first collection, the K-pop collection. Beautiful deepened like kind of raspberry blackberry shade. It's gorgeous, but I also never reach for this one. It's a matte shade, and I just have other shadows I reach for before this. Porter is from the KathleenLights collection. It's a deep like burgundy shimmer shade. It's also gorgeous. I also never reach for this one. It's a problem. The next color I have is the shade Weenie. This one is from KathleenLights' collection. I really like this one. It's a beautiful like rose gold shimmer. This is one of the few that I actually do reach for, so I think I will keep this one. It picks up really beautifully with a brush and applies so gorgeous. I also have the shade Melrose. It's a beautiful, very warm, like kind of saddle brown. It's a gorgeous shade. I think I will keep this one. I don't reach for it very often, but every time I look at it, I'm just reminded of how gorgeous it is. So I think I will keep this one, try reach for it more. The final Super Shock shadow I have is the shade Rex. This one I bought solely because I saw a swatch of it on Instagram and I was immediately wowed. Beautiful blue shimmer shade, but I thought it was pure blue shimmer, but it's actually a black duochrome shade, so it has a black base, but it has blue shimmer in it. So personally, I don't actually like the way black shadow looks on my eyes 99% of the time, so I'd never reach for this one. I think it's gorgeous if you're trying to get like a nice intergalactic out of space type of look, but I've only really, so I'm probably getting rid of this one as well. So this kind of turned into a mini declutter. I will be decluttering most of the stuff on here onto my Poshmark account, which is where I sell stuff at a very discounted rate. Everything is sanitary. I will link that below. I'm just going to keep going with the eyeshadows. Next I have my Colourpop Pressed Powder Shadows. This is my AOA Studio kind of Z palette. It's a magnetic eyeshadow palette, so it has all my singles in here. These ones are all Wet n Wild, and then these are my Colourpop singles. This one, and this one are actually Anastasia, but the rest are Colourpop. So this one is Take It Slow. It's one of my favorite like brow bone highlights. It's really gorgeous. This one is Lil Boat. It's like a nice kind of matte brown. It's gorgeous for the crease. This one is High Strung. It's a really nice kind of pink champagne rose gold shade. Really, really gorgeous on the lid. This one is Get Out. It's a really beautiful like red matte, very blendable and very pigmented. This one is actually Anastasia. It's the shade Tiger's Eye. This one here is actually Colourpop though. It is the shade Glass Bowl. Everyone loves this shade for some reason, but personally, I'm not a huge fan. I've never gotten it to work on my eyes in a way that I really enjoy. I think it's a beautiful like duochrome shade, but I don't know. I don't know how to use this one, so if you have this shade and you like it, please let me know how you use it. I would love to try it out in different ways. I've never really found it in a way that I like. This shade here is called Too Much. I thought this was completely matte, but it does have some like micro glitter in it, which thankfully does not show up completely on your eyes. It's a really nice magenta purple shade with a little bit of pink to it. I do like it. I just wish there wasn't micro glitter in there. This is Anastasia Dragonfly. This one is Colourpop Silver Lining. It's a beautiful like lavender shade. This one is Anastasia Enchanted. It's my favorite purple shade in my collection. And then this one is also Anastasia. It's the shade Violet. So that's a mix of my Anastasia and Colourpop shadows. I really, really like the Colourpop singles. They're very blendable, and unlike the Super Shock shadows, I actually do reach for this very often. Two more singles in plastic, and that's because I'm decluttering both of these. The first one is the shade Sidetracked, which I actually have in the little Take Me Home palette, so I don't need this one. It is a really gorgeous like transition shade, but I just don't need it because I already have it. And then the shade Pinky Promise is a really beautiful like kind of red shimmer shade. I was gonna use this all over my lid. I was super excited about it, but it's just not as foiled as I would like it to be. It's a little bit more satiny as a shimmer, so I was expecting something very, very like high glitter impact shine, and it wasn't that. So it's a really beautiful shade. It just wasn't what I was looking for, so I think I'm gonna get rid of these ones. The only brow thing I have from Colourpop is the Colourpop Brow Boss. I have the shade Dark Brown. This is really, really good. I would actually compare this to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It's not as good quality, but it's still very comparable, and for $5, I think it's a really, really great dupe. It's very, very skinny. It's very skinny, so you can get nice precise hair strokes. I do enjoy this one a lot, and I will probably repurchase this one once it's gone. I'm not a huge fan of the spoolie. It's kind of hard, and it's not as soft as the Anastasia one, so it kind of hurts when it's going through your brows, so I don't actually use a spoolie. I do like the brow pencil though, so that's really the only thing that matters. Alright, so the Colourpop Gimme More Pressed Powder Highlighter Palette. I don't know why I keep saying Colourpop, because everything's Colourpop. Beautiful glow kit. It has 6 highlighters in here, and it was $18. I believe it's still available. I don't think this one was limited edition. It just came out with a new glow kit, the Innuendo glow kit, and I really do want to pick that one up because it seems like it's going to be different colors to this one, and this one just didn't work for me personally. These are very glittery and they do kind of emphasize texture, and I don't know, the colors didn't work on my skin tone. I am very, very, very fair, so I can only really use these like 2 shades, otherwise it looks weird on me. And overall, it's just not my favorite. I didn't need this one. It's very similar in tone to the Anastasia Glow Kit in the Nicole Guerrero Glow Kit, which I have and I love. But those ones work a little bit better on me because they aren't quite as pigmented as a base. This one actually has a very pigmented base and then glitter in it, whereas the Anastasia ones are like a really nice highlighting sheen. So I prefer the Anastasia one. I don't need this one, so I am also decluttering this one, and it's good. It's not bad by any means. It's not to my personal preference. I also have the Colourpop No Filter Concealer. I really like this one. It's one of my favorite affordable concealers in my collection. I am planning on doing like a favorite concealers video if you're interested in seeing that, and this one will definitely make it in there. Some people don't like this because it oxidizes on them. It doesn't actually oxidize on me. I haven't noticed any color changing on me, so that's good. I have the shade 10, light neutral 10. So I think they actually are expanding their shade range, which is amazing. I love to see that. They are expanding it to a lot of different shades, and they are getting like a white mixer shade. So I think I might actually buy that one just because I have a lot of concealers that are a little bit too dark for me, but I really do enjoy this concealer. I think it's either $5 or $6. It's a really great formula and great deal, so I would definitely recommend picking this one up. It's probably my favorite affordable concealer. All right, now I'm just going to go through all the lipsticks. I think first I'm going to start with the lippy sticks. I have 6 lippy sticks. I really love the formula of the lippy sticks. I think they're amazing quality. They did come out with the new Luxe lipsticks, and I am planning on picking some of those up as well, but these ones are $5.50, whereas the Luxe ones are $7. I think these are an amazing quality formula, and they're very slim, and they're very easy to get nice precise lines on your lips, so I do like the shape of these. I have 2 in the Matte X formula, Candy Paint, which is a dupe for my favorite Pat McGrath shade, Omi. It's a really great color dupe. I do like the formula. It's a nice matte formula, and it stays on the lips very, very long. I also have the shade Ziggy, which is a gorgeous kind of like rusty reddish brown. It's really beautiful. So I love both of these. I wear them very, very often, and these are always in my purse. I have 3 in the matte formula. Taurus is one of my favorites. It's from the KathleenLights collection, and this is a really, really fun shade. It's a deep, like kind of dark grungy brown, but it's very wearable for some reason. This would make a beautiful like nude shade on a dark skin tone, but on me it's a very, very dark brown because obviously I'm super pale, but this is beautiful. There's a really nice amount of warmth to it, so it's kind of like a chocolate brown but with a nice twist that makes it a little bit more wearable. So I think it's a really, really fun lipstick shade. I like this one a lot, and I wear it with a lot of different eyeshadow looks and different outfits. I think it's a really, really pretty look. Also about the shade Grunge, it's a very similar idea, also a nice dark brown, and honestly if you have Taurus you don't need Grunge, and if you have Grunge you don't need Taurus. They're very, very similar shades. And I think Taurus is just a tad bit more wearable. This one has a little bit more like deep brown, whereas Taurus is a little more red. I think they're both beautiful shades, kind of that same like 90s grunge vibe, and I think they're really gorgeous, unique colors. Finally, I have the shade Parker. It's just a perfect like nice nude matte shade. It's not quite as drying as the Matte X formula. I think the matte formula has a little bit more satin to it, so I would actually describe this as a satin lipstick rather than a matte, whereas the Matte X is a true matte shade. But Parker is my perfect nude shade. It's a little bit peachy, a little bit pink, and a little bit brown, so it's kind of straddling in between. It's a really, really gorgeous nude shade, and again I always have this one in my school bag or in my purse. It's just a really nice versatile shade for every eye look. Finally, I have the shade Only You. This is a cream formula. So this one actually has some shine to it. I've actually used so much up, so this is like all I have left in the tube. It's a really, really beautiful lipstick. This one is very creamy and buttery. It feels nice and hydrating on the lips, so if you do have chapped lips, it's really great for just gliding over those lips and just looking really nice and hydrated. So I like to wear this during winter because my lips are a little bit drier then, and it's just a really nice nude shade. I'd say this and Parker are very similar. This one just has a different finish, so both are really gorgeous shades and 2 of my favorite nudes in my collection. I only have 1 ultra matte lipstick, so that's kind of weird. I did declutter most of them just because they were very, the old formula at least was very, very drying, and I just can't really handle matte lipsticks anymore at this point. So I am planning on picking up the shade Arriba from I Love Sarahi and Colourpop's collection, but that's probably the only ultra matte lip that I'm going to buy unless they actually make the formula a bit more hydrating. But I only have 1 shade right now, and this is the shade Viper. I just kept this one because I needed a nice pink shade, but I think I will probably get rid of this one. It's a gorgeous true pink shade. It's a little bit deeper than your typical like Barbie bubblegum pink, but it's still really beautiful. So I think this one's actually going to flatter a lot of different skin tones, and it's a little bit easier to wear than like a hot pink shade. It's just really pretty, very feminine, just looks so nice on the lips, but it is very drying, so that's something to watch out for if you do have a sensitivity to very drying liquid lipsticks. I would say just steer clear of the Colourpop Ultra Matte formula and go for instead my favorite formula, the Ultra Satin. So I have a lot of the Ultra Satins. I'm not going to go into deep descriptions of each of them. I'm just going to say my like shade description and all the ones I have. I have the shade Aquarius by KathleenLights. This is an Ultra Satin, and it's a beautiful like pinky nude shade, so really, really pretty. It's very light. I have 3 shades that look very, very similar, but they are different, trust me. This first one is the shade Stud. All variations of like a rosy toned pink shade, but they all have different kind of undertones. So Stud has a little bit more brown in it. It's really nice. Rain and Frickin' Frack are very, very similar, but Frickin' Frack is just a little bit more pink. I think Rain is straddling right between Stud and Frickin' Frack. It has a little bit of brown, but also a little bit of pink. So it's a little bit pinker than Stud, a little bit browner than Frickin' Frack, if that makes sense. It's confusing, I know, but they're very similar shades, but I swear they're different. This is the shade Virginia. This is a really, really fun, like bright violet, magenta, beautiful, like raspberry shade. So I love this one. It's very, very fun and very bold. I think I wore this in my yearly favorites video, but it's such a fun shade. I really do enjoy this one. This is actually from the Karuchi collaboration as well. This one is from the Alexis Ren Colourpop collaboration. It's the shade Bare Necessities, and when I first saw this online, it looked like a beautiful, like kind of coral, peach-toned pink nude, and I was super excited, but this is a very different formula from the typical Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip. It's very thick, it looks moussey on the lips, it doesn't dry down, and it just looks super cakey and thick. So I don't enjoy this one. I think I'm actually gonna get rid of this one. I don't know what went wrong. I have 2 colors from the Colourpop KathleenLights collection, the Dream Street collection. So this one is the Ultra Satin Lip in Rêve. Rêve is French. It's a beautiful, like, super bright clementine orange. This can be very, very hard to rock, and it can be hard to find an eye look that really works with this one, but when I wear the KathleenLights palette on my eyes, I'll actually go for this one because I find that ties in really well with the bright red shade in there. Sometimes I'll put this on and it just does not look right on me, and I'll just wipe it off, but on the few days that I do get it right, it's a really gorgeous shade. I've gotten a lot of compliments on this one. It's a beautiful shade. This is the shade Dreamy, also from that same collaboration. It's a gorgeous, like, pink toned nude. It's so pretty on the lips. This is one of my favorite shades in my collection. I have the shade Femme. It's a very nice muted lavender. It's super unique, looks very interesting on the lips. I have the shade Mystic. It's a deepened raspberry shade. This shade is very beautiful. It's such a nice twist from the typical red shade, and it's so gorgeous on the lips. I have the shade Tawny. It's a very nice warm kind of yellow toned brown. Kind of a step out of the box for me, but I really do enjoy this one when I do wear it. This is the shade Barracuda, kind of similar to those like rosy toned mid-tone shades I showed you guys, but this one is a little bit more red. It's really, really pretty. I think I will get rid of this one. And then finally, my favorite nude shade is the I Love Sarahi Colourpop Ultra Satin Lip in the shade 951. This one is very comfortable. It's the perfect, like, neutral nude. It looks so good on the lips, and Karen looks beautiful in this one, so I really enjoy this color, and it's one of my favorite nudes. Alright guys, so that concludes my Colourpop collection. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was so much fun to film. I realized I have a lot of stuff from Colourpop, but I genuinely do love and use most of the products in this video. Everything that I don't use very often, I am decluttering, but I genuinely love Colourpop. They're one of my favorite brands. They just create some amazing quality products for very low prices, so I think they're doing a great job, and yeah, I can't wait to pick up more from them. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. When I have more stuff from them, I will probably do an updated version. Let me know if you'd like to see this type of video with other brands. I'm thinking about doing e.l.f. Cosmetics and Anastasia Beverly Hills. So let me know what you'd like to see from me. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel and you're following me on Instagram for my makeup looks. And yeah, if you made it to the very end, I love you so much. Thank you very much for watching my channel.